What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. And my name is JC, also known as Justin, but here on Stay Fresh Productions, my name is JC and we talk about everything dealing with fragrance. If you like this kind of content, then please consider subscribing, hit that bell notification, hit notify all, whatever it says, so you always get notified every time I upload a video. And would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Once again, if you like this kind of content, it does help me and YouTube know that you do like this kind of content and you can see it more often and other people can see it more often as well. With that out of the way, thanks for being here. Today we're talking about citruses. I'm sharing with you 10 or more, as usual, of some of my favorite citrus fragrances. Now, some things to note about citrus notes. If you didn't already know, they are some of the most volatile notes in perfumery. So this means that they don't last very long on the skin. They evaporate very quickly. And as they do evaporate, they push out. They have a very strong projection, a very strong presence in the air when you smell them, at least for the first 5 to 15 minutes. And then after that, they're gone. It is very rare that a fragrance that has citrus will have citrus present all the way through to the dry down, which is kind of funny when you think about defining a fragrance as a citrus fragrance, because typically it is only a citrus fragrance for those first 5 to 15 minutes. And then whatever else is left, that is the profile, but we're gonna roll with it. These are 10 or more of my favorite citrus fragrances. There are many I'm leaving out, so just keep that in mind. If you don't see your favorite fragrance in my list, it's because either I haven't smelled it, or I don't have it, or I'm just not crazy about it. So don't take it personally. What you can do instead after the video is let me know down in the comments what your favorite citrus fragrances are, and we can talk about it. So without much further ado, let's get right into it. First, I have 2 honorable mentions. These were both sent to me very recently. In fact, today I received these samples, these decants, from a very good friend. You know who you are, so thank you so much. Both of these come from the house of Atelier Cologne, who is known for their citrus fragrances. I actually don't own any full bottles in my collection, and I might be looking to change that. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I literally just put both of them on my arms maybe 20 minutes ago, and I had to include them here. And I think just not including Atelier Cologne is a sin when it comes to citrus fragrances. So I have 2 decants here. One is Pomelo Paradis, which is on this arm. Wow. And this one is Orange Sanguine, which is on this arm. These are beautiful and beautifully authentic citrus fragrances, and that is what this house is known for, as per the names. Orange Sanguine, based around mandarin orange. With Orange Sanguine, we get a very special scent. It has the sweet, juicy fruitiness of blood orange mixed with bitter orange, which actually more comes off like a sweet orange, but with a little bit of the rind in there. As it does dry down, we get into some other facets like geranium, which adds a nice freshness to it. There is some tonka bean and amber in the base, which add a nice sweetness as well. Some people like to say this smells like fresh squeezed orange juice. I didn't really get that vibe. To me, it just smells like a fresh orange, a fresh, sweet, like mandarin orange or a blood orange, but with that little bit of that bitterness from the rind. And it gets a little sweeter and almost a little creamy as it dries. There's some sandalwood in here too. Gorgeous scent, had to include it. The way it dries down is quite different from how it opens up, and it is beautiful. I love this. I might have to get a bottle. The next one, Pomelo Paradis. If you don't know, pomelo is essentially pink grapefruit, and that is what this is based on. There is some mandarin orange as well as some black currant, which adds this like almost tart but dark juiciness to it, and adding to the fruity nature. But as it dries down, we do get into some other facets. Once again, there's iris in here, amber, vetiver. It has a depth to it. It does have a little bit of a richness to it. The black currant kind of becomes most prominent to me once the pomelo grapefruit wears off, but it's still a citrus fragrance through and through when you first really spray it on. It's so authentic, so I had to include both of these from Atelier Cologne, Orange Sanguine, and Pomelo Paradis. Okay, let's get into the list. LeLeVa from the house of Meremeta fragrances. And this one, again, is called LeLeVa, and it means lemon, leather, and vanilla. I didn't give you a chance to really see that. Lemon, leather, and vanilla, as you can see. And that is what you get here. You get a, ooh, this is such a unique scent. Some might consider it similar to something like Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche, but the leather note is pretty prominent here. It's kind of almost rough, but not too much so. Everything is, you know, just 3 notes, but they're blended very well. It's a sweet, slightly zingy lemon with a creamy vanilla and a nice leathery backbone. Quite a unique scent profile. Something to wear maybe during like summer nights or spring nights. That leather note has a darkness to it, but it's still quite bright, fresh, a little sweet and creamy. Really pleasant. I recommend checking it out. There will be a link down below to check out LeLeVa from Meremeta. Okay, from another indie house, Daniel Gallagher. I love this fragrance. Based on the name, you wouldn't think it's a citrus fragrance, but the citrus does play a very vital role in a very beautiful way. We're talking about Perfecto. This is their newest release. He did send this to me back in May when it came out. And grapefruit is the citrus player here. It helps to balance out this very sweet and fruity melon with some banana in there, but the grapefruit plays a beautiful role with this bitterness that it does to balance it out. It's like the melon and the banana are like wrestling, not really in a violent way. They are wrestling for attention, and the grapefruit is there kind of being the referee of the bout, just like saying, oh, you know, keeping track of things, making sure people aren't fighting too dirty. Okay, up next, this is a classic, and I got a couple classics on this list from the house of Dior, I believe released in 1966. We have Eau Sauvage, this is the Eau de Toilette, and lemon is a major player here. Beautiful, bright, kind of zingy lemon, but mixed with quite a bit of oak moss in here. It does have a little bit of a dated feel, but in many ways it's a timeless scent. I should have included this on my timeless fragrances list. You should check that out here, that whole discussion. We're talking about timeless fragrances. I think this is very well included there. This is a beautiful scent. If you like lemon, but you want a little bit of kind of a rich, earthy, woody herbaceousness to go with it, makes it a little bit more bold, but still very light and likable and pleasant, especially for the daytime. Check out Dior Eau Sauvage. I'm gonna have links down below for all of these, so make sure you check them out. Okay, if you're liking this video so far and you wanna help me continue to make content like this as a part of my actual living, then you can help me out by joining my Patreon. Join the Fresh Fam. There's a link down below. There's a number of ways that you can participate, that we can exchange. I give you some exclusive content you'll only find there. We're doing giveaways. We're doing live Q&A hangout sessions. We're doing extra videos. I'm getting tutorials over there on topics I don't cover here. We're doing one-on-one consultations if you're interested in such a thing. All of that is at my Patreon. Please consider joining the Fresh Fam. Would really appreciate it. Okay, here at number 7 from the house of Argos. This is not an outright citrus fragrance, although it does play a major role. Violet and vetiver kind of play a strong role to my nose, but we are talking about Argos Pomme, and lemon is the citrus of choice here, and it is quite a beautiful lemon. There's a green woodiness about it. There's a smoothness to it that kind of surrounds the lemon, but the lemon does add a little bit of a zingy freshness to it. When you put it on skin, you really detect it a whole lot more. Doesn't last all that long as you would expect, but it is there. Really classy stuff. Great performance for a fresh fragrance. Great to wear anytime. This is a great signature scent if you're looking for that. I will have links down to Argos. I have a 10% off coupon code. Use Fresh10 at checkout. Get 10% off your whole order. Please check out Argos Pomme if you haven't already. You will not regret it. Great citrus fragrance with some other depth to it. Okay, here at number 6, there's a lot going on in this fragrance, but grapefruit is a major player. From the house of Hermes, we have Jardin Sur le Nil. You do have some very interesting vegetal qualities to this fragrance. Carrot, tomato, lotus flowers in here, which adds a bit of a watery, floral nature to it. There's iris in here. There's cinnamon, musk. It's a very complex breakdown, but it comes off, there's also some like green mango in here. It comes off as like a watery vegetable garden with a slight sweetness, but not really. It is a little fresh. It has a smoothness to it. It's quite unisex, and the grapefruit adds a little bit of pop to it. I think it does give it some life, otherwise it would be a little bit too abstract, but the grapefruit makes it a little bit more accessible, especially when you first spray it on. It will invigorate you. That's something that citruses do great. This is Jardin Sur le Nil from Hermes, from Jean-Claude Helena, great perfumer, master perfumer. Check this out if you haven't. Okay, here at number 5, we got another classic from the house of Cartier. I've talked about this recently in my Timeless video, which you should check out. This is Cartier Declaration. This is kind of polarizing. Not everyone cares for this stuff, but there's a reason why it's a classic, why it's still around. Now, bitter orange is the major player in terms of citruses here, and it is beautifully balanced with some woodier notes, with some cardamom, some beautiful, fresh, spicy cardamom. But that bitter orange, oh, I need to put this in the air. Hold on. Damn. This fragrance is just absolutely breathtaking to me. I love it. You got to check this out. If you haven't checked it out, don't sleep on it. Please check out Cartier Declaration. Get you a whiff of that bitter orange and you'll thank me. Could not do a citrus fragrance without this at number 4, or any number really, it doesn't matter. From the house of Guerlain, possibly discontinued. I think it actually is. You already know. This is L'Homme Ideal Cologne, based on grapefruit. Wow, I haven't worn this in a while. I gotta wear this soon. Grapefruit, almond, vetiver, I believe. Maybe some pink pepper. I've said this in the past, but this comes off to me as like a sweet and creamy, bright, fizzy lemon soda. But there's no lemon, allegedly. It is grapefruit, which does add that zing to it. So uplifting, great for summer and spring as well. This is like a great wedding scent. If you're attending a wedding in the daytime, this is one to check out, especially if it's outdoors. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. You get the idea. Here at number 3, again, not an all-out citrus fragrance, but lemon is playing a major role here. But mostly you're getting some lavender and some oak moss. From Roja Parfums, one of the masters of quality, we have Scandal. This is Parfum Cologne. One of my favorite fragrances in my collection for sure. Every time I've worn this, I've had people say like, man, you just changed the whole vibe of the room with that. I mean, it does kind of turn heads. I think that's what the name is for. It gets people talking about you. This stuff is very classy, super elegant, super classy. It has a bit of a fougere vibe. It is kind of a barbershop style scent. A sweet creaminess, a fresh spiciness, some woodiness down there, some warmth. But it does have that zingy lemon, which Roja Dove does so well. It's done really well here. So I highly recommend checking this out if you're looking for a high quality fougere with a beautiful lemon note to get people's attention. And the rest of it is great too. That is Scandal Parfum Cologne. All right, here at number 2, this is a very special fragrance. It is also relatively new to my collection. I just got this a few days ago. I sampled it years ago and I really loved it, and now I just got around to getting a bottle. This is high quality stuff from a house that also does citruses very well and fresh fragrances in general very well. From the house of Acqua de Parma, we have Colonia Intensa. Okay, and this is a flanker to a classic release Colonia, which I think came out in the 60s, if not earlier, or maybe the 50s, I don't remember.
Oh, Justin, that's why you should do your research beforehand. The 50s, the 60s, came out in 1916, everyone. Yep.
This is a kind of a myriad of citruses, bergamot being one of them, but there's others in here. Maybe lemon is in here too, paired with some beautiful, fresh, spicy cardamom. There's some florals in the heart. There's some Gaiac wood in here. It does dry down a little bit of earthy leather with some musk. It has some depth to it as it dries, but that citrus quality is beautiful, especially paired with the spice from cardamom. This is super classy. I gotta spray this. I gotta remind myself. Love that atomizer. Oh man. This is like a beautiful citrus, fresh citrus fragrance, but for the evening time. Or if you want to just make a statement, if things are a little bit more formal, this is one to check out. Love this stuff. Acqua de Parma, Colonia, Intensa. Okay, number one of the most authentic citrus fragrances I own in terms of just the way it comes off, how it makes me feel. And it's in the name from Tom Ford. What? This whole last clip, my mic did not record any of it. What you're hearing now is my new microphone, and thanks to future Justin for making this edit possible. We're talking about Tom Ford Mandarino di Amalfi Acqua. Super authentic, juicy, sweet, fresh Mandarin orange, quite zingy. I think there are some other citruses in here, maybe bergamot. It does have a nice kind of thickness from some white florals, possibly jasmine. There's a lot going on in here. There is a little bit of herbaceousness, I believe, and it even has a little bit of warmth as it dries down. So it's not just straight up citrus, but citrus is the most prominent, especially when you spray it on. But it dries into something a little bit more interesting. I do think the florals make it quite interesting, and they also make it quite unisex, but you know, don't be afraid. Guys, I know you guys can be afraid when you hear unisex, you think feminine. Doesn't matter. Smells beautiful. Doesn't last very long. I get maybe 5, maybe 6 hours out of this, but it's fine. Great for a day out, especially when it's hot. Mandarino di Amalfi Acqua from Tom Ford. All right, so that's it. Now I want to know, what are your favorite citrus fragrances? Like I said at the beginning, please let me know down below what your favorite citrus-based fragrances are, and let's have a conversation. If you like the video, please like the video. Really appreciate it. Helps me out a whole lot. If you have not subscribed yet, then please consider doing so. If you've made it this far, you want to be a part of the Fresh Squad here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and join us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.